That's our cue. All right. Yeah. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
And this is our show for our first show, almost our first show on March, our last show in February.
Well,
it is. We're right on the cusp.
We're right on the cusp.
Right
Come
on the
on.
cusp there, whatever the
Short
cusp
month.
looks
Give
like.
it to us.
Between the 28-day February and month of February and 1st of March. Anyway, we have our usual lineup of stuff here, and the camera people back there look absolutely thrilled about all of this. News and Community Bulletin Board. Adele is here, as you may have noticed, with another installment of...
It's easy being green.
We got it.
Indeed it is.
Yes.
CBB, as I mentioned, a roll-in. Denise is looking at, no, it's not Denise, it's just a roll-in. Oh, they're talking about some equipment that we need here at AIM.
Right.
News for seniors and then scoop on Build Yourself. That's our show. But before we begin, social media reminder.
That's right, Mr.
In your
Nolan.
penne.
You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News, and you guessed it, the number 1. Also, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, and also on the radio.
And also on the radio, WERA 96.7. Check us out. We're in your ear. Here we go now, the first of our news items, as promised. Well, a woman was struck by a vehicle last Thursday as she was crossing George Washington Memorial Parkway. The victim was in the middle of a crosswalk just south of the Arlington Memorial Bridge. Police believe that the right lane of traffic had stopped, but that a vehicle coming down the left lane continued on and did not stop and then struck the woman. She was conscious when first responders arrived and was transported to a local hospital in quote-unquote now good condition. Her injuries are believed to be non-life-threatening. The incident took place around 11 in the morning, so lack of daylight was not a factor. Officials estimate that approximately 600 crashes involving pedestrians have taken place in the 6 years between 2006 and 2012. Park officials are considering making changes along the parkway to reduce the danger for pedestrians, including narrowing the traffic to a single lane for that stretch of the parkway. Here at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, we offer another suggestion. Perhaps a pedestrian bridge might solve the whole situation there and eliminate the possibility of a crash altogether. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Bid On Equipment, an equipment resale company, performed an analysis of the best locations for opening a restaurant in Arlington County, was ranked, well, the highest. The analysis included 4 factors, including annual restaurant sales per capita, restaurants per capita, number of restaurant workers per capita, and median income. The District of Columbia came in 3rd behind Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And in other news items here, Amazon. We're hearing a lot about Amazon around the neighborhood these days. Some of Amazon's executives made a rare public appearance last week to assure Arlington residents that the company plans on being, quote-unquote, a good neighbor to the community. However, the event was by invitation only, meaning that most Arlingtonians never got the chance to hear the message or to ask questions. Well, the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments were the organizers, and the presentation was held at Virginia Square campus of George Mason University. Holly Sullivan, Amazon's head of worldwide economic development, said the company has just started their outreach in Arlington and that they plan to be active in the community. She also said that Amazon's plans for its offices will be designed to encourage employees to support local businesses. And we're quoting now, "We'll be trying to take the indoors outdoors and vice versa," she said. "We want it to feel very much like a neighborhood. There will be no walls around it, no big sign that says Amazon on it. However, the plans are still contingent on county board approval of Amazon's incentive package." Daniel.
Amazon's coming to town.
Here they come.
And here they come. Well, the Arlington County News Desk issued a message last Thursday announcing a proposed county budget that, quote-unquote, invests in community priorities. The article stated that County Manager Mark Schwartz presented an overview of his proposed budget that includes a quote-unquote a combination of strategic spending realignments and a 1.5-cent tax rate increase, end quote. The state priorities include schools, metro, infrastructure maintenance, housing affordability, and the county workforce. Mr. Schwartz stated, quote unquote, with a brighter financial outlook compared with the past fall, I'm happy to report that my budget proposal avoids cuts to core county services, end quote. A major improvement in the budget situation reportedly came from increased real estate assessments completed in January. The budget details released on February the 23rd show planned funding for Arlington Independent Media at $415,240, a reduction of 5%, with similar reductions to continue for the next 3 years.
Not good news for AIM, but that's why we need your support. So dig deep there and on this upcoming fund drive and find an extra 20 or so that maybe you might be able to send our way. We'd appreciate it. All right, that's a look at our news items. CBB coming up right after we hear from Adele and another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Indeed, indeed. Here's Adele.
Hey there, everyone. Thanks for the warm welcome. And we're here with another It's Easy Being Green. I'm joined here by Joe Tree Frog and his family, friends of amphibians, because we are here to save the date for wood frogs. On March 8th, from 7 to 8:30 p.m., there's a fantastic fun and family event from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Eleanor C. Lawrence Park, which is located at 5040 Walney Road in Chantilly, Virginia. Wear waterproof boots and bring your flashlights because the wood frogs are going to be breeding in our vernal pools. And this is a great fun and family event that if you need more events, feel free to call 703-631-0013. For Joe Tree Frog and his amphibian friends, our frogs and toads, newts and salamanders, they're getting ready for their springtime pool party in Northern Virginia. To humans, vernal pools may look like a large puddle or a temporary pond in spring or some icky, mucky, wet soil the rest of the year. But among the variety of wetlands and seeps, the most interesting for Joe Tree Frog and his friends are these wonderful vernal pools, which make a breeding ground for amphibians due to the fact that vernal pools are only temporary. Thus, they cannot support fish who would eat their eggs. As the snow melts and the spring rains arrive, these temporary shallow, dry depressions fill with spring water for a few months to host the mating events for our amphibian friends. These ephemeral pools revive throughout our urban landscapes. They revive at the edge of fields, they're tucked into the forests, and even along our roadways. So Joe Tree Frog and his amphibian friends must perilously travel across our highways and busy roads to return to the same vernal pools every year. Many are crushed crossing the roads. When they arrive at the pool party, it's like a college spring break. The annual amphibian courtship ritual swings into raucous and noisy action. Joe Tree Frog might let us in on the secret big night events coming up. If we treat these vernal pools as special places to preserve instead of continuing to drain and convert these valuable habitats into more urban sprawl. In Northern Virginia, our wetland habitats face a rate of suburban growth that ranks highest in the nation. Vernal pools can be designed to fit almost any size property and can make a positive addition to a school, an office, an HOA, or even your home landscape. Remember, Joe Tree Frog and his amphibian friends enjoy vernal pools for their survival.
Save the date.
That's right, March 8th. Save that date.
Save it.
I like that.
Coming up.
Come to the vernal pool party.
A big old springtime pool party for amphibians.
Joe Tree Frog will be there.
And look who's going to be there. It looks like fun, right?
Yeah.
You need a tree frog, though. Could you bring
Or
a
a
tree
wood
frog?
frog, or a newt, or a
I
salamander.
like that. Join the vernal pool
Join
party.
the party.
A big old
Good
pool
stuff.
party.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Adele. Here we go now, as promised, CBB, oh no, not time for News for Seniors glasses, but I'll put them on anyway. Since I got them, what the heck.
You need them.
Arlington has an interesting history, and depending on how long you've been around here, you may even be part of it. Join local historian Carl Van Newkirk for an overview of Arlington's rich historical past. This event coming up Wednesday, March 6th, from 11 till 12 noon. At Langston Brown Community and Senior Center and Park, 2121 North Culpeper Street. More information, call Elizabeth Poole at this number, 703-228-6300. Daniel.
And Craig, here's another great event. Here's a chance to learn more about age-related changes in memory and learning. You can even acquire some practices to keep your brain sharp. Find out what to expect, what's quote-unquote normal, and when it's time to seek a doctor's advice. The presenter will be Lindsay Vachpay from the Insight Memory Care Center. That's coming up on Thursday, that's March the 7th, from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. That's at the Lee Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 5722 Lee Highway. For more information, well, give them a call, Adriana Carr, at 703-228-0555.
And also, here's something for you chocolate lovers, and who doesn't love chocolate? Well, maybe folks who are allergic to it, but here's an event for anyone who likes reading and hot chocolate, and that includes all ages. It's called the Winter Reading Hot Chocolate Party, in case you wanted to call it something else. Anyway, it will also include snacks, crafts, door prizes, and a whole lot more. That's coming up on Saturday, March 9, from 2 to 4 in the afternoon in the Barbara M. Donlin Auditorium at the Central Library. They're located at 1015 North Quincy. Attendance is on a first-come, first-served basis, so get there early. Daniel.
Well, Craig, here's an opportunity to learn about what it's like to view America's at sea level, where you can actually see your surroundings as you pass. Volunteer John Carton will draw upon his 39 years with the railroad and share his experience of traveling by passenger train. He's been to over 500 destinations in the United States. He'll clue you in on the most scenic trips, types of accommodations, the different kinds of trains, and how to get the best fares. That all comes up on Tuesday. That's March the 12th from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Walter Reed Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 2909 16th Street South. If you need any more information, we'll give Leanne Canute a call at 703-228-0955.
All right, Daniel, and News for Seniors coming up right after we have a little video here talking about some AIM equipment needs. Check it out.
Here's a story that has waited a long time. It's the story of an equipment budget request that was submitted in June of 2018 by Arlington Independent Media. In previous years, the Arlington County government would respond to such requests by simply issuing payment so that AIM could maintain, replace, and upgrade its equipment as necessary. It is noteworthy that this equipment item is considered to be separate from the other funding that the county provides, and it should have not been affected by the 5% decline in cable tax revenues. This request of $98,000 was expected to be accommodated by the end of last summer, but no payment was released. In October, I started asking questions about why the equipment request had been delayed. County Board member Eric Gutschall was of some help in obtaining answers. I finally received a reply from the county manager's office during the first week of December 2018. My question was, has funding for all the PEG channels and Connect Arlington been frozen, or is it just AIM's equipment request? And here's their answer. Originally, the county proposed holding consideration of all requests until after receipt of the CTC report. This approach would make certain that any disbursement of PEG funds would not be in conflict with any recommendations or changes made as a result of the CTC report. Due to the delay in the CTC report, And based on a determination that this request would not potentially conflict with any future recommendations, county staff have decided to approve the $98,000 funding request for equipment, and it is now in process. That would have been a happy ending to the story. Unfortunately, it is now more than 2.5 months later, and AIM has not received the funding that was supposedly in progress in early December. At this point, viewers and listeners may want to make their own inquiries to the county board and the manager's office to find out the reasons why this promise has not yet been kept. Thank you for watching and listening.
All right. Thanks, Hef. Some thoughts on AIM's equipment request.
Important information there.
Stay tuned.
Yep.
More on that later. And I need my, here they are.
You got your glasses on.
News for Seniors glasses.
Started early.
Hanging on my nose. Here we go, as promised now. News for Seniors. Well, there is a new drop-in English class for beginners and advanced beginners. It's being taught by instructors from Arlington Education and Employment Program. The class will focus on vocabulary, grammar, and conversation. The first class begins on Monday, March 11, from 10 to 11 in the morning at Walter Reed Senior Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. Classes will continue to be held on Mondays and Wednesdays. For registration and more information, give them a call at the number on your screen now and in your ear, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
Well, Craig, based on a recent exhibition at London's National Gallery, art educator Joan Hart will offer a new perspective on artist Claude Monet. She will examine Monet's works and his immortalization of monumental buildings. The discussion will include his canvases of the Rouen Cathedral at all hours of the day. He painted more than 20 and buildings on the grand boulevards of Paris as well as humble Normandy villages. The presentation, which will cost $6, will take place on Monday, that's March the 11th, from 1:30 to 3 p.m. at the Aurora Hill Senior Center, located at 735 18th Street South. Register early by calling 703-228-5722. The program will be repeated on Tuesday, March the 26th at 1:30 p.m. at the Lee Senior Center. That's located at 5722 Lee Highway. Call to register for that one at 703-228-0555.
All right, Daniel. Also in News for Seniors, a special program of unusual and rarely heard music based on musical themes of Central Asia is coming up. It will also feature a video presentation of the Moscow Opera Company. It will be presented by classical music aficionado David Gray. That's coming up Monday, March 11, from 1 to 2:30 in the afternoon at Arlington Mills Senior Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie. For more information and to register, call them at this number, 703-228-7369. Daniel.
Well, Craig, none of us have Android phones. We all have iPhones, but this next one is for the Android users. Android phone users will have an opportunity to ask questions in an open forum. The discussion will be led by former Verizon manager Rebecca Miller. She will explain features, offer tech support, and discuss mobile carriers. It all takes place on Monday, March the 11th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. That's at the Arlington Mills Senior Center, located, and please jot this down, 909 South Dinwiddie Street. To register, give them a call at 703-228-7369. And as always, we want to thank our very own Judy Masomny for helping us out with the senior stories. Her hard work and dedication surely does pay off. Right,
Appreciate
Craig?
it. You bet. Thanks, Judy. We appreciate your efforts. And we'll be back with sign-off and bye-bye if we have time, right after another installment of Miriam Gennari's Sustainable Scoop. Here she is.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. Joining me today is fellow awesome woman entrepreneur, Lydia Mihatsiano. Welcome, Lydia.
Thank you for having me, Miriam. It's great to be here.
Well, I had to have you here because some of the things that you're working on with people in terms of bettering themselves and kind of reaching into their subconscious is something I find fascinating. Now, your business is in hypnosis and coaching?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I started my business as a life coach, and it wasn't until I realized how powerful hypnosis is and that how we are hypnotizing ourselves all the time to create our current results in life that I cannot coach without hypnosis. And it has changed my life, for the better, with sleeping, with panic, anxiety, especially with emotional eating. Permanent results is what has really come from hypnosis. So I definitely use that as a prime modality in my business.
Well, and you've got a lot of personal experience that you draw upon. And I think that experience really helps you to give people insight that it's not something you can just walk in and become fit or quit smoking or just, stop drinking. There's something deeper going on there, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Miriam. What I find is that a lot of people try and think their way out of an unconscious problem, a problem that was created on an unconscious level. So this is something that may be triggered from some sort of discomfort in their past, some sort of anxiety in their past, or some emotional discomfort. And this thing taught them comfort or taught them happiness, right? And so that therefore a pattern is created, and it's very difficult to create that pattern, to undo that pattern that was created on an unconscious level.
But your situation was pretty extreme. At one point, you suffered with severe obesity, and that was a detriment. And a lot of people suffer and can't find their way out. But you found your way out of it into the extreme, physically fit, and yet something still wasn't working.
Yeah, it was pretty bizarre. I set out on, I made an intention when I was 22. This was when I was still over 200 pounds. I was in late college, and I thought that losing weight would bring me happiness. And as it did, it brought me relief. But it did not change the reason why I was struggling in the first place with emotional eating. And that's where my excess weight was coming from. And so therefore, if I wasn't taking care of the habits that was producing my current results, there was no way, the only way I was going to be able to stop the weight gain was from just using willpower and discipline, and it's just never enough. You always run out of both of those things.
Well, not only that, but even when some people might on the exterior think that you're at your finest, you are still struggling. And so what is it that's happening in the subconscious? And how can hypnosis tackle that?
Yeah, so it's different for everybody. What was happening for me and what I find in a lot of my weight loss clients is that there is a fear of being seen. So there is low self-esteem, there's low confidence, or low self-trust. And therefore, they're worried about being seen, so they'll just not wear makeup, but they'll eat too much so that they don't get attention. And so, low self-esteem and low confidence can equate to a bunch of things. It could be overeating, it could be smoking or anxiety and panic, that could be triggered by past
shopping,
trauma.
It could be gambling, it could be lots of things.
Really anything could become an addiction if the unconscious mind finds that as a comfort mechanism out of some other situation.
Which is why a lot of times self-help books and, exercise videos don't do it, because you're not really addressing what's going on inside.
I can't say that all of that. I can't agree with all that, because I started with YouTube. There is self-help on YouTube. There's self-hypnosis on YouTube, but it's not customized to you. It's not using language and verbiage that really is sets off your emotional buttons, as I like to say. And therefore, you may get some relaxation out of it, but as far as really getting transformative change and really personal change, I would highly recommend going to see somebody, seeing a professional who understands or has been through whatever you're going through.
Well, it's like you have to change the way you think about what health and fitness is initially, and then really your strongest muscle, you need to be exercising, right?
The brain is a muscle, and it's what most people think they're using, but they don't know how to use. A lot of people don't know how to communicate with the part of their mind that is running their life. And until you can really understand how the unconscious mind works, and it's actually pretty simple, it's just stupid, right? It doesn't understand that, eating this delicious food is not making you happy. And it's like, until you can come to the realization that there is a conflict there, you're kind of trapped.
Well, I've had the pleasure of going online and seeing your blog, which I think is a gift to a lot of people. How often do you blog about these topics?
About once a week.
So every week you go on and give a little bit of tidbit of advice or coaching?
Yeah. Yeah, I really get inspired after my sessions with my clients, and that's why I love working with them, is because I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, people are dealing with this still. I forgot because it was so long ago, this particular thing for me. And so like I like to throw it out there, oh hey, I just had this realization, and just remember, and give them a takeaway, give them some sort of exercise or something that they can start doing on their own, and when they're ready, say, I want more.
So this is what's really cool about Awesome Women Entrepreneurs. Such courage and such grace that you share your story, and now you're out there turning it into a business and helping others.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. So, well, how do people get in touch with you to learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, so if they want to find out more about me, more about hypnosis, they can visit my website at www.buildyourselfinside.com.
Okay, and then there they can find all of your social media and
Absolutely. Everything's linked there. All my office information can be found there.
buildyourselfinside.
.com, all one word.
Sounds
Yep.
great. Thanks so much, Lydia, for being with me.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thank
you're
you,
going to come
Miriam.
back again.
Oh, of course.
All right. And I want to thank all of you for watching another edition of The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to the news desk.
All right, thanks Miriam and Lydia, and if all else fails, try hypnosis. What are you doing?
Save the date, March
the
the
date.
8th. Write it
Go to
down.
the
Big
vernal
pool
pool
party.
party. We're
Vernal
all going to
pool
the
party.
vernal pool party. You don't need
Featuring who?
flippers or
Featuring?
anything,
Featuring Joe Tree Frog.
Yeah.
Are there going to be any lifeguards at
This
the
is
pool,
going to
vernal
be,
pool
yes,
party?
of course.
Of course. there
Save
will
the
be.
date.
Little-
Save it.
We better get out of here. Thanks to our camera operators, Paul and Jordan back there helping us out, and everybody in the tech room who helped put this thing together. And thanks to all of you for watching. Next week, if you're out there and you're not doing anything, happen to be just hanging around, check us out. We'll be here and we'll do it all again. Happy birthday, Aubrey. She's coming up
Happy
on number
birthday.
4 here.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Check us out next week for another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Have a safe week.
And
Bye-bye.
save the date.
Save the date. Okay.